Hi, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I had a comment on a recent NFL video from somebody claiming to be British. I don't know why I said claiming, like they're gonna lie. I'm just pretending to be British. Anyway, a Brit asked if every state has an NFL team, and it just made me think, well, that could be a video. And if you really hate football and you're like, Linda, stop with the football. This is light on football and heavy on map. So I'm going to use a dry erase marker and try to figure out all the cities that have football teams on the map, and we'll just mark them NFL football. It's really just for fun. I don't know. So there are 32 NFL teams, and I'll just do my best to try to map them out. So let's see what we can do here. I can't remember which pen is working the best right now. Let's try this purple. Little purple. I like it. It's got the eraser on there. It's kind of nice. All right, let's start with the AFC East. I feel like I may have to roll my sleeve because this button's going to keep hitting. Let's just roll it a little bit or it'll be clicky clacky. Look, I'm like a millennial girl with my hair bow on my... Okay, so the AFC East has 4 teams. And if you're curious about that, I've done a video on the different AFC and NFC divisions. We have the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to have to, I might need my magnifying glass. My eyes aren't going to be that good. The Buffalo Bills are in Buffalo, New York, which is right here. Sorry, guys. This pen isn't doing it for me. Nope. Let's try this black one. See how that does. Cool. Buffalo, New York. Okay, that'll be okay. All right, so Buffalo, New York. So this is the Bills, and you can see how close they are to parts of Canada. So they have a pretty strong following, as I understand it, even in this like part of Canada, and then all this sort of northern, northwestern New York area. And then we have, I'm sorry, hold on. Excuse me. Also in the AFC East, we have Miami Dolphins, which are right here in Miami. And the New England Patriots, which are kind of an interesting team because, I think Cooper the cat just knocked something over downstairs. Anyway, they are in an area of Massachusetts called Foxborough, Mass. And it's sort of between Providence, Rhode Island and Boston. So it's, I'm not exactly sure. It's right in here somewhere. That's a big mark, but because they are the New England Patriots, they're not like the Boston Patriots or the Massachusetts. They are sort of the team for the smaller states of Rhode Island. Of New England, like Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine doesn't have its own team, Massachusetts, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So all of those areas often will be rooting for the Patriots. Now, not always. Some of them might go for other teams, but that's kind of, they're the New England team. So they're kind of an interesting one. And then you have the New York Jets and the New York Giants. And they are actually out of East Rutherford, New Jersey. They play at the MetLife Stadium. I think I did a video. Didn't I do a video on... I think I started studying for the Giants, but maybe I haven't made that video yet. I can't remember. Anyway, so the Jets tend to have more of the New Jersey, Queens area, and the Giants are kind of New York, New Jersey. I don't know. I'm not exactly clear. They split. All right, so where are we? Oh, New Jersey, Rutherford. I'm not exactly sure where that is in New Jersey. East Rutherford? I'm going to guess it's over here somewhere. I'll make it big so that it's in New Jersey somewhere. Okay, and then in the AFC North, we have the Baltimore Ravens. And they are in Baltimore, Maryland, right here, where I used to live once upon a time. So they get Baltimore, but sometimes people from DC, they'll pick up a fan base from around this area. Yeah, they have a pretty big fan base, I think. And then there's also in AFC North, there's the Cincinnati Bengals. They are out of Ohio. Here's Cincinnati. And because Cincinnati's right on the Kentucky border, they have fans often in northern Kentucky area. Some of Kentucky goes down here to Tennessee, I think, for fandom. But and then the Cleveland Browns, which are in Cleveland, Ohio, which is over here. Why isn't it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, we did a video on the Browns and the Bengals. I've done a video on both of those teams. All right, the Cleveland Browns, they pick up like all of northern Ohio for their fan base, and they're like super loyal. I'd say the Browns and the Bengals and the Ravens. Actually, this whole division has a pretty hyper loyal fan base, I think. And that is especially the Pittsburgh Steelers, which are right here. Pittsburgh fan base is huge. And because Steelers Nation, I have seen Steelers Nation bars in Caribbean islands, in Europe, all over the U.S. Same thing with Raven Roosts. They're all over the place too. Anyway, but yeah, that's Steelers. Okay. And so some of these states, like you can see New York has 3 teams. Really, they have Buffalo, Jets, Giants. That's interesting. Okay. The AFC South, what do we have? We have the Texans, which are in Houston. Yeah. So they have part of Texas. Now there's another team in Texas that we'll talk about in a minute. But we're on the AFC South. So we have the Indianapolis Colts, which is right here in the middle. So I think most of Indiana goes for the Colts, right, guys? I think so. Okay, and then Jacksonville Jaguars, which are in Jacksonville, Florida. So they pick up like the northern part of Florida, I guess, the northeast. I think that the Dolphins have a bigger fan base than the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I can tell from the comments they're like super loyal fan base. I think they love their team, so that's cool. All right, and then we have the Tennessee Titans, which are out of Nashville. And I will say, having been to Knoxville a lot, Knoxville is cuckoo crazy bananas about University of Tennessee football. But they don't talk too much about the Tennessee Titans, which is interesting. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's what I've noticed, I feel like. But anyway, this team, I think a lot of the South kind of roots for them because some of these places don't have teams nearby. So probably southern Kentucky and parts of Mississippi and Alabama. I don't really know. I think so. Okay. And then the AFC West, we have the Denver Broncos. And so they're out there in Colorado. So they get a lot of the mountain. Like there is no team in Montana and Wyoming. So I think their fan base spreads out around here. I think the Broncos have a big following. I feel like when you're out there driving around, you see Broncos signs on bars and stuff all over. I think. Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, big following. Helped by I'm sorry, I'm trying to see exactly it's like here. Okay. Helped by the Kelsey brothers and everything. So yeah, Kansas City, Missouri is where it actually is. It's over here. I was slightly off the state. But the cities in both Missouri and Kansas. The stadium, though, is on the Missouri side. I thought I did a video on the Chiefs, but I looked it up and I couldn't find one. But I think what I did was a Super Bowl video when the Chiefs played and went into the Chiefs quite a bit during that video. But anyway, yeah, I think they have fans on all this area. Yeah. All right, then we have, this is all the AFC West. I don't know if I said that. We have the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're here. Now, the Raiders used to be in Oakland, so I think they still have like LA and Oakland fans, but they're now located in Vegas. So they kind of have a fandom that comes out over here, I think. Dallas. Oh, sorry, we're going to NFC East. So we have the Dallas Cowboys, which have a huge fan base. Oh my gosh. Where are you, Dallas? I can't go to Texas anymore. I know where Dallas is. Why can't I see it actually on this map? Am I crazy? Have I lost my mind? It's just so small on here. Yeah. All right, Dallas. So it is actually in Arlington, which is a little bit below there right here. Just outside. It's between Dallas and Fort Worth. Okay. And they call this America's team. Now, I don't think most of America would necessarily agree with that. But that's what they call it. And they have fans all over from different places. And that is true because I know when I lived in Detroit and when I lived in Baltimore and where I live now, I see Cowboys fans out there. So they're all over the place. It is true. And then we have the New York Giants, which we already kind of marked over here. And the NFC East has the Philadelphia Eagles, which are out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And they have a very strong following, mostly just right in that Philadelphia area. But so you can see, so Pennsylvania has two teams, Pittsburgh and Philly. New York has 3. Texas, we already have 2. All right. And then in the NFC East, there's the Washington Commanders. Now they play out of Landover, Maryland, which is near DC, but their fan base is big in Virginia and parts of Maryland. My brother-in-law is from Virginia, and he was a Commanders fan, or is, I guess. So, there you go. What am I doing right now? I've lost track. Oh. I remember I'm putting the Commanders. So they're in Landover, Maryland. I don't know. I don't know where that is exactly, to be honest. Okay. And then we have the NFC North. There is the Chicago Bears. And they are out of Chicago, Illinois, right up here. And the Bears have a pretty good fan base up in that area. But, well, we'll get to that in a minute. And then there's the Detroit Lions. My childhood team. Detroit. And, yeah, Detroit has a fan base that is, for most of my lifetime, sort of pitiful because you always want them to win. I remember one time in the 70s, they just made it to like the first playoff game, and we bought a 45 record album that was a version of Never Another One Bites the Dust. Was it that? I think it was that. But they put all the Lions players' names in it, and it was so cool. And we were like, oh my God. Excuse me. But then they didn't make it past that. But now they've been a really good team the last few years, so it's been very exciting. But I'm feeling a little nervous for them this year, but hopefully they pull it together. All right, and then there's the Green Bay Packers. Now, I did a video on Green Bay Packers, and they are in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And they're an interesting team because they're like, I forget the word for it, like privately owned or whatever. They're owned by the fans. Is that, do you like take out, I forget how that worked. You take out like stake in the team or something. So they have a super, strong fan base, even though they're in this like little tiny area here. But yeah, they definitely have a good fan base. Okay, where are we now? NFC North. Oh, we have I forgot. Okay, we have the Minnesota Vikings. I did a video about the Vikings. Skull. Oops. Wait, Minnesota Vikings. Oh yeah, they are playing in Minneapolis, like right here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did a video all about, I think I've done videos on all of the NFC North teams. I'm trying to remember if I ever got to the Lions. I'm not sure if I did or not. That would be crazy. Anyway. Okay, so then the NFC South. We have the Atlanta Falcons. And they play out of Georgia, right here. So, yeah, they definitely have a big fan base there. We have the Carolina Panthers. They are in, I'm trying to remember, they're in Charlotte, North Carolina. So they get the fan base, they're called Carolina Panthers, not North Carolina Panthers. So I think both of these states kind of claim them as their team, both North and South Carolina. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then there's the New Orleans Saints, which are down here in Louisiana. I guess they play in actual city of New Orleans. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, they get fans from Louisiana and probably parts of Mississippi because some of these areas don't have NFL teams. Yeah. And then back in Florida, there's another team, if you can believe that. And that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wait, do they play like right here? I guess they play right in Tampa. I'm not exactly sure. So Florida has 1, 2, 3 teams. That's wild. I never thought about it that much before, to be honest. They do. All right, and then the NFC West, we have the Arizona Cardinals. And they play in Glendale, which is outside of Phoenix. I used to live in Mesa. I feel like I'm trying to remember where Glendale is, but anyway, it's right around here, right around Phoenix. I'll just make it big. So they're the team for Arizona for sure. I mean, everybody roots for them there. Except for people who are Steelers fans, or, yeah, there are less Steelers fans, as I recall. And I think some Lions, because a lot of snowbirds, they call them, they're people from the north. They move to Arizona, or they moved to Florida, sometimes Texas. So you get some mixed fandom in some of these places for sure. Anyway, okay. Sorry, hold on. All right. And then in California, there's the Los Angeles Rams. And where'd the Rams move from? They were somewhere else, weren't they? I don't recall. But I don't know if people all root for the Rams or if they stick with the Raiders, some of them, because the Raiders were from that area. I don't know. I don't really know. And then they also have the San Francisco 49ers. And San Francisco's, but they're a big state. So there's the 49ers in the northern part of the state, and then the Rams in the lower part. And then up here, did I mention this is NFC West? We have the Seattle Seahawks. And they play, I guess they play in Seattle. So up there. And I think the Seahawks have fans, all the way, all this area. Oregon and parts of Idaho. I think have we missed, is that it? Wait a minute, did I get them all? Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. What? Did I miss something? There were 2 here. Wait. What about San Diego? Do they have a team? What am I missing, guys? What did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I definitely missed something. Who have I missed? Oh, shucks. Rams, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. I don't know. I feel confused right now. Hold on a minute. New York Jets and the New York Giants are AFC East and NFC. And we counted that twice. Alright, we're going to do this different. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Who am I missing? Oh, did I do the LA Rams? I did not do the Rams. Or did I? Yes, I did. I did. What the heck? San Francisco 49ers. I cannot figure out who I'm missing. The Las Vegas, the LA Chargers. That's what I didn't do. We have the Chargers and we have the Rams here. This is a double dip. That's it. That's it. Okay. Okay. So LA has 2 teams and New York. Well, California has 3 teams and New York has 3 teams and Florida has 3 teams. So we have some states that don't have a team, like Oregon. So California used to have 4 teams, but the Raiders moved. Okay. Alright, I think I got them now. Texas has 2. Florida has Dolphins, Jaguars, and Bucks. New York. Alright. So, anyway, there you have it. So there are some teams, states, like Montana, and Idaho, and Wyoming, and North Dakota, and South Dakota, and Nebraska. Kansas will give a team to because they kind of share that spot. And Utah. And New Mexico. And Oklahoma. Panhandle. And Oregon. And Arkansas. And Iowa. And Mississippi. And Alabama. And, well, those states don't have teams. Now, like South Carolina doesn't, just for the Carolinas. So they kind of share this team. And then the New England states kind of share the Patriots. So all of these states over here are kind of Patriot states. Does that all sound right to you guys? Am I missing anybody? Well, and then Alaska. I wonder, I don't know who, like, people from Alaska root for. I don't know. It's such a hard state to trace. And Hawaii. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like when we were in Hawaii, we saw some signage for San Francisco, but I don't know, I don't remember. Yeah, did I miss anything? Oops. Well, Kentucky doesn't have its own team, but it is really close to Cincinnati. And Nashville, I guess, part of it. West Virginia doesn't have a team. Virginia technically doesn't, but I think, the Commanders are pretty well regarded there. Am I missing? Let's see. Ohio does. Pennsylvania, New York. Delaware. Yeah, I guess Delaware is just sort of. I guess Delaware probably roots for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is that right? I don't know. Maybe. So anyway, I don't know how interesting